G'day Club 18 stars and welcome back to the Club 18 Legends interview series for episode 7. I'm Ryan Pritchard or Rhino. I'm back after interviewing Cougar in episode 6. This week we're talking to a past player and a coach that spent 10 years at the club. He's a Club 18 legend and he's a good mate of mine. He's a gifted storyteller and there is always fun to be had with Brett Lewis. Before we get to Louis, just a reminder that we're doing this because players aren't able to get out on the field. Hopefully it's going to be a short period of time now before they're out there, and it gives a bit of a link back to the past players for the mighty Club 18. We have one rule in this series: sit back, grab a beer and enjoy the story. Today we're talking to a Club 18 legend. Welcome to the series, Brett Lewis. G'day Louis.
Hey Righto, how you going?
Good, thanks mate.
Pushing it a bit far, but thanks for the introduction, mate. Very nice.
Oh mate. Good to have you on board. Good to see your face.
Well, I drink a beer for the topic at the moment.
Controversial, maybe. So, tell us, how did the story at Paran start for you?
So I was overseas for about 7 years. Over in London for 5 and New York for 2, and sort of played and coached over there as well. When I got back, I had no interest at all in getting down to the club. I mean, I didn't want to play again. I think I was, must have been 30 odd. But I used to work with a few boys at PwC back in the day, and they were really sort of getting into me, saying, "Come on, you got to come down. You got to come down." I was, no, and then try again. And I'm not kidding. I'm thinking, I'm not that good at football. Why are you trying so hard to get me down to the footy club? There's a lot better blokes. But they kept going through it. Then right at the very end of it, I was adamant I wasn't going to play, and they said, "Look, occasionally we might get some entertainment down at the club before the game." I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, as well as drinking shots of whiskey before the game and running out with Swedish Viking helmets. What are you talking about? They're going, yeah, we definitely get some some entertainment before the game. I'm like, what, before? Not after the game. Before? Oh, all right. I mean, I've got to say this. I've never heard of this before. Plenty after the game, and we know what we're talking about. We've got to be very PG here, obviously. With
yes, we do.
My house as well, but yes, they got me down, and I went down to the first training session down at Albert Park, actually down there, and I actually bumped into one of the first guys to come up to me and say good day was Howie, as we all know. Mark Howard's a bit of obviously an international legend now, but at the time there was sort of rolling in your D-grade celebrity sort of status, and I sort of met him. He was really nice, and all the blokes were. It's probably about half a dozen blokes. I thought, oh, it must be a quiet training session. I was later to realise that this was actually pretty big numbers for training dozen. So anyway, got sitting down on the couch on Sunday with my 6-month-old son Marley, who's now 14, and we're watching the beach cricket on the TV, and I'm thinking, I'm standing with a 6-month-old. I go, that's Howie. Daddy met that guy at footy training on the weekend, talking to his 6-month-old kid. And anyway, going away, I'm thinking, what's going on here? And he's interviewing Alan Border. I'm sorry about this, Howie, but I have to introduce the story. I know this is not great for commentators sometimes, but he's interviewing Alan Border. Anyway, at the end of the interview, he goes, "Thanks, Adam." And I went, "What? Like, and so did you just call Alan Border Adam? Like, sort of thing. Anyway, I rang these other guys up, and then I rang Stores and Reece Stevens and said to the boys, what's this guy I met at training on the weekend? Last week? What's his story? They're going, "Oh yeah, why you ask?" I go, "Because I'm pretty sure he called Alan Border Adam." And they're going, "You've got to email everyone. You've got to tell everyone." No, I don't know anyone. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. Go, no, he's a really good bloke. He'll take it really well. All the blokes will think it's hilarious. Even though it's a commentator's sort of thing, you don't want to really know. Apologies, Howie. But so anyway, so the story goes, I wrote the email, and next thing you know, I'm sort of in the grand halls of the Paran 2 Blues Clubbies sort of team, and getting involved with all the sort of the back and forth and everything was going on there. And Howie took it pretty well. He came up to me afterwards and goes, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what he said to me when the camera stopped rolling."
Yeah.
Anyway,
How is a cricket tragic too? Like he.
I know. Yeah. He's such a. And that's the thing which you work out at his club, which we'll get into, is there's no ego, like zero ego, and you're coming out into a club where there's so many big personalities, or not big personalities, big careers, and these guys have got a lot going on in their lives outside of footy, and just sort of to be part of that, where there's no clicks and no ego. And I mean, got someone like, I said, we'll get off Howie, but someone like hanging out with Bergs. He's traded up to Warney as a mate from Bergs, which why wouldn't you as you're going through? But I wouldn't call that ego. But everyone's so good. Everyone at the club is fantastic. But anyway, that's the intro.
Yep. No, good. Look, so for the people that haven't seen you play, who would you sort of compare yourself to? Which AFL player do you think that you would be represented by?
You cringe when you think about this, don't you? I mean, I have thought about it a little bit, and I came up with a cross between two players. I came up with a cross between Liam Picken and Clive Waterhouse.
That's nice. I like it. Clive Waterhouse, Fremantle Dockers.
Yeah, a bit of Fremantle, a bit of the big ginger hair floating around the forward line occasionally, but also had the defensive sort of, I was pretty proud of my defensive sort of efforts most of the time.
You're a Geelong supporter. I thought you would have easily gone straight to one of the famous redhead Cats players, Adrian Hickmott, someone like that.
I was actually thinking David Clark for a little bit there. Can run pretty quick. Looks all right on the training track, but when he gets on the field, he's not that great.
Now, you're selling yourself short because you're actually a club leading goal kicker. Talk me through that.
I know there'll be a couple of boys out there laughing now, Faz and that. I think Raki might have put me in the forward line sort of after a couple of years down there. Might have had some sticky hands, but unfortunately a sticky boot that went with it. I think I won the club goal kicking with 22 one year.
Wow.
That's sort of averaging, less than 2 goals a game. So it's not a feather in the cap by any stretch, mate.
Look, you're leading goal kicker. That's all you got to hang your hat on, mate. So you're a player and a coach. What year did you start coaching?
Talking years. Must have been. Well, it was after the Feslenko years, but before the graveyard years of the Slavo era. But it might have been 2013, 14, maybe.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
And you made finals, I believe.
Yeah, made finals both years. That's the prelims. Yeah,
Jace tells me that you had a very interesting sort of pre-match address before maybe a Hawthorn prelim. Can you talk us through that? Maybe a video that landed a bit flat?
It might have missed the mark a little bit. Something had worked for me well over in London when I was coaching Wandsworth, and I showed my Humley when we were Kings before a game. And I thought, I'll try and repeat. We won a flag doing that, so I thought I'll try and repeat the dose, but didn't pick the audience too well. And, I think I was holding up one of those 4-minute inspirational videos above my head on an iPad, and I could sort of see the sniggers from Faz and Bergs and the background of Killer. I think Killer just walked off. I think he might have been having a dart. But there's a few guys who didn't mind it, but might have missed the mark on that one. But in saying that, we got to within 6 points of Hawthorn that year, and they were a pretty bloody good side. And I think, like Gordy touched on you, I think we only ever get our best sides right at the very end of the year, and to be able to play with them for a full year, I reckon we probably would have gone a little bit better. But once again, no, 2 prelim finals to coach.
Jace blames the video. He reckons there's definitely another 6 points left in him if you just can the video.
I reckon that's a fair call.
So what are some of your favourite memories as a player?
As a player? Oh, God. Probably my best memories, even apart from being on the field, as a player, just after the game, having a beer, having a sneaky dart, standing in the showers 25 minutes. But probably, getting to we got to a couple of grand finals in the year. I think Bergs and Raki were coaching, and I think we picked ourselves out of a couple of those. I did take a nice mark one year on Lukey G, which Killer Awards might have got me a mark of the year. And think Silvani back in 1985 when he took that real high one and marked it on the chest when he was up on. Unfortunately, no one else was around, just me and Lukey G, and I jumped on his back, so I don't know. Didn't mind a goal here and there, but it's probably more just, as I said, all the games sort of mulled into it. But I just loved it. I love footy. I ruined my body doing it. But the boys that are there, and you put yourself through hell just to keep playing. So it's more than just the experience of running out with the guys, going, generally shaking off a hangover and getting out there, making 1 or 2 goals, yelling out barrel and these people and all this sort of stuff. So it's more melds into that sort of stuff for me more so than the actual individual game type.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. So you, much like me, suffered at the hands of the injury gods. Numerous times I was down there and I saw some carnage, and so give us your rap sheet. Talk us through some of the injuries.
Oh, mate. We'll start at the feet. Broken ankles, ligament busted ankles, torn calves both sides, 6 hammies on the right, 1 on the left. We'll come back to the groins because this is probably where we're leading to. I've had double disc replacement in my lower back with a L1 S4 fusion, going up pectoral, shoulder, broken arm, fingers going all over the place. I've had 2 vertebrae taken out of my neck. I've got a nice metal thing in here. I've got a nice scar through there. That was probably more from pole vaulting days, but got a few head knocks where I lost feeling in the arms.
Yeah.
And sort of moving up, broken nose, broken teeth. Had my 4 teeth kicked out of my face playing footy. Punctured eye socket. Probably 4, and finishing at the top, probably a good half dozen serious concussions. But we'll go back to the groin one's probably the one which you'd want to know about.
Wow, that's a lot. That's good going, mate. I think we need a pause just to let that sink in.
Oh God, I'm paying for it now. It's like I got the beach out here. I'm down in the ocean most days, just trying to. It's like a natural ice bath, obviously.
Yeah.
At the moment,
so the big one. To talk us through this groin.
Yeah, so I think we're playing. Maybe it was an elimination final or something. We're playing down at Elstonwick Park. And I'd had a pre-existing groin injury. I missed like sort of 8 to 10 weeks with it. The amount of injury they were just so frustrating. I just love playing footy so much. But so what happened was I called the butterfly. So 2 guys, I had the ball right, sort of on the centre wing. They both landed over my leg like that, and I literally flattened me. So one guy landed over that leg, one landed over that leg, and think of them just were both out of knees touching the ground.
Wishbone.
I called the butterfly. The butterfly. Oh. And it's like literally, like the pain was just insane. The boys are saying, come through the interchange room. So I'm like, I can't. I just had to cry over the line. I ended up vomiting really badly, sort of over the line. And then I got up. I could feel the swelling. I kept grabbing myself. I kept feeling the swelling coming up in it. And then I remember being in the showers afterwards, just feeling like crap. We got beaten by Zabs, and we thought we'll go to the pub afterwards. And then we're in the showers, and they asked, there's terrible ones at Elstonwick. It's covered in mud. They're probably already, shin deep at the moment, like the water from the showers. So I'm standing in the showers, and Bergs looked at it going, mate, that doesn't look good. Like the whole right side of my nut and my groin had just sort of swollen up. And I thought my ball had been pushed up in there, but it hadn't. Anyway, I thought, I limped across. I thought, I've just ripped it off. I've just ripped my groin off the bone. That's all I've done. We'll drink through this. Over at the pub, sort of having a few beers. I'm feeling white. People are going, right, Louis? I'm like, yeah, I'll get through it. I've just ripped my groin off the bone. It's fine. We'll be right. We've got to go out tonight. We're going. So I'm sort of sitting there on the bar stool. Next thing I remember is it felt like someone stabbed me in that leg here, and then just pulling the hot knife slowly up inside the leg. I just collapsed. So I don't really remember too much. I remember Cotsy being around, I think Faz and a few other boys are going. And it's funny when people ask you when you're in sort of like no man's land and you're not doing well. Do you have an ambulance subscription? Well, I hope so. I don't know. We're sitting there debating whether I have an ambulance subscription. Everyone knows full well you've got an ambulance subscription. I couldn't. So I had to get in Cotsy's car. They took me to the Alfred Hospital, and I was not in a good way. I was really sad. And I could just, the pain was just not going away. They took me out of the triage into the sort of the area, and they were assessing me, and I was not going well. And they sort of they thought that I'd done my femoral artery anyway. So I got the head doctor came down and saw me, and he goes, "Look, do you want the good news or the bad news?" I said, "Oh shit, give me the bad news first." He goes, "Look, you're going to have to go into surgery. You burst 1 million capillaries, and different blood vessels, and you're bleeding out inside." I went, "Oh shit, what's the good news?" He goes, "You're going to get to keep your leg." I went, "Oh, I guess that's pretty good news." And I didn't realise that was an option on the table that I was going to. So anyway, they rushed me up in the hospital, and I kid you not, and you can ask all these sort of boys going through, is that I got taken up. They did surgery on me. I looked like I was wearing black basketball bike shorts. Like they said I was black and blue. I looked like that guy.
Send me the photos.
I'll send some photos so you can show it. I actually look like that big black guy that's on all the WhatsApp chats at the moment getting sent around.
Yes.
The big black. It was out of control, and I mean, I was put into we're all car crash victims. So literally people coming. There was a massive car crash down in Deans Marsh on that weekend, and I'm in there with 3 car crash victims and me in there, and even the father of one of the kids who'd been in the car crash, he's looking at us going, "What the hell happened, mate?" Like he goes, "I go football." He goes, "That's from football." I'm going, and I had like teams of nurses and doctors coming in, starting their shift, all coming in for to have a look first. Lifting up the sheet and go, like the faces, and I'm still remember the face of Faz when he came around the house to see me. I'm going, "Look, do you want to see?" And I've sort of just dropped the pants down. He's just like, it was like the start of Quincy MD when everyone sort of starts fucking stuff.
It was frightening. And so after that, what was the name of your fantasy football league side?
God, help me! It's Gary Dangerwood.
Louis Broken Balls.
Louis Broken Balls. It's Gary Dangerwood Jr. at the moment.
Rip loved that. He absolutely loved that.
It took 6 months to come down.
Mate, it was frightening. So you've been around the club for a long time. Who are some of the better players that you saw and coached?
I mean, again, it's sort of the same as some of the other boys have been saying, but I played, I know Store from back in the Lara days when he was down there with his brother as well. And I mean, he's footy back down there, but I'm going to be controversial in the sense that I reckon at the Two Blues when I was there, I reckon Bergsy played some probably the better football, but it's the fact that it's no disrespect to Stores because we're talking about them in the same breath, but they were both amazing players, those two. Connie was brilliant. People haven't talked about Connie. Killer obviously was fantastic. I mean, just always gave it all. Goynie, we got Gunga down there for a bit. He was a brilliant player. We had Cougs, obviously. Cougs is just, the few games I played with him was just remarkable. I would just say Goynie. Crispy was really good. We got Crispy now. We'll talk about Crispy and how he got to the club a little bit later on, which is not a bad little story. I mean, they're probably some of the better ones. I mean, he's got Siebes, Jerry. I'll throw Daz in there. He was always give you 2 goals a game. Daryl, he always went well, and but I probably more love playing with the guys who are just there every week, in and out, just constantly doing it. Your Fazers, your Slavos. Not saying these aren't great players. Just every week, your Pigeons, your Siebes, your Jerrys. The guys that just kept the club ticking over that core group, and they're the ones I love playing with. But I love obviously playing with. You want to play with the best players, but they're my sort of memories, I guess.
Yeah.
All over the place a little bit. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's we talk about the best players and whatever else, and it sort of came to my mind when we were talking about it. I really loved when I was in the back line. We were pretty tight because there weren't a lot of guys in Club 18 level that really wanted to play defensively, and so we would get some serious jobs. Like the good sides had good forwards in them, and so there's a bit of a brotherhood down there. So like Hollywood, Chris Morton. Chris Bellage, when he'd sometimes get big jobs on very good players, all of that, it's stuff you remember that you hold on to.
All the boys over.
So I know you've got a big off-field game. We've been out a lot of times together. What are some of the off-field memories and footy trip stuff? I know that you've you basically embedded Byron as a destination for the footy trip. What can you share with us about that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the way I sort of looked at footy trips was that you want to get as many people as you can, as easily as you can, to the destination, which is the best destination. When I was playing footy down in Geelong, it was Albury on a bus, but if you ever went too far, people couldn't go because they couldn't afford it. So I just thought, why go to Europe? So you got this amazing town that's $250 return for airfare, 50-minute drive, Byron, got everything you need there. Why would you go anywhere else? That's the way I sort of looked at it. So I took over control of the footy trip pretty early. Put in some, I guess, I like to make sure everyone was having a lot of fun. So obviously getting the vote count done up there was a big one. Get everyone into some good accommodation. Wasn't fantastic back in the day. Bit of backpackers sort of stuff. But it was always a bit of fun drinking around the pools.
Wasn't there a bit of a penthouse at some stage?
There was a penthouse. I mean, that's more Gunga and Plunger's influence coming in over the top. We did have one of those for the weekend, and it was one of the better ones. Had the vote counting. I think when I ran the vote count, I took everyone's phones off them as well for that vote count because they were all too busy bloody trying to bet and stuff. And I don't think that was a very popular move at the time. But no, it was always about just getting the boys having a lot of fun. But probably one that does definitely stand out on the footy trip was a good mate of mine that used to live up there. He was actually my boss for a while. Got us up there and helped sort us out. And they were playing in the grand final. It was Byron Bay versus Lismore, and we had to go on a trip out to I think it was a Nimbin of all places. Like, God damn, talk about going into the Lions' Den. So we went out there, and I believe that was a trip that Coops might have got worst on trip and best on trip in the same trip. So we're going out there on the Friday in a bus. He was green as we got out to Nimbin. Anyway, so long story short, I may or may not have had a baked good from somewhere around there. So the story might be a little bit hazy, but it got to 3/4 time, and Lisbon were beating Byron by 8 goals, and Byron had, they're losing by 8 goals at 3/4 time. They're kicking into an 8-goal breeze. 8-goal breeze. Like, I'm not kidding you. So there's about at least 15 of us, all us boys down there watching the game. And this young Crispin Myers starts to take the game by the scruff of the neck, clearing the ball out. Gets to, they get in front with literally no more than seconds to go. How the hell have these guys got in front? I'm dancing around I'm in the team, I'm playing, I'm carrying on like a moron. And anyway, so the ball goes up, and this is where it gets controversial. The ball goes up in the ruck. The Lisbon guy grabs it out, the ruckman grabs it, and as he kicks it, the siren goes. And this is on the grand final. Lisbon are down by 3 points. The ball bounces, and they're kicking obviously with this 8-goal breeze. The ball's gone, and then it's bouncing. It's now in sort of halfway to the forward line. Three Byron Magpie guys run past the footy, and the ball eventually trickles over the line, goal line. And it's so Byron are out there celebrating, singing, jumping all over each other. And then next thing you know, Lismore start dancing around singing. They're dancing around singing. And I've never seen this before in my life. There is 2 teams on grand final day, both singing their team theme songs as they're going. They're singing the songs. It actually ended up having the result had to go to the umpire. We thought he was getting murdered, because this is hillbilly country. These guys are going to go nuts. Lismore haven't won one for years, 20 years. Byron won one year before. But I think the AFL might have come in, or the VFL, or someone gave their final. Gave the final announcement, and I think it was because the umpire never gave the all clear.
Yeah.
Right, and it's really debated these days with Faz and thoughts who had the goal. I think he did kick the ball and it went through for goal, but because the umpire didn't give it an all clear, Byron got to win it. They won the actual grand final. I've never seen anything like it in my life. He was on the footy show. All these.
Yeah, I know. I remember it. Unbelievable. Scott Hayward would have restarted the game in the forward pocket, by the way.
Here's me thinking it was the Nimba biscuit the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, hilarious. So Crispy obviously took the game by storm, and then how did you get him down to Paran?
Yeah, so I sort of mentioned to him, after I spoke to my boss and said, look, I want to make number 8. He's a bit of a and you have a chat to him. I think there'll be a bit of ego, and anyone who's met Crispy, that there's zero ego there. So we chatted and went out that night with a few of the Byron boys and had a few beers with them, and I think went back to my boss's place and carried on to the wee hours of the morning. And I said to him, look, if you ever want to play, give us a call. Here's my number and everything like that. And I out of the blue, sort of about 8 months later, I got a phone call. I was like, well, let's get him down here. I mean, I think Johnny touched on it yesterday. I listened to it yesterday. During the last episode, and that guy's if he broke his leg, he was going to be anything. I mean, we probably could have won a grand final with the form he was going into in that Hawthorn game when we were playing. That he broke his leg, and it was just it was one of those years where it all went against us. And he was one of the ones, he was killing it. We moved him from the back line to the forward line. He was kicking threes and fours and just taking hang. So you lose by sort of a new age Kerry and Cougs, but probably could kick like my mate Saunder, who I brought down a couple of times. But
Yeah.
he was a very handy player, very good player.
Yeah, awesome. Any other stories or highlights that you want to cover off before we?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my time there, I played a lot of roles. Over the years, and I think that's what you got to do at the club as well. I was coach, I was player, team manager, runner, water boy, physio, trainer, taxi driver, slab provider, umpire,
life coach.
No, that was all in the one game. I'm not kidding you. That was all in I'm not kidding. That was all in one game. I did all that in one game. Anyone who's coached knows it's the most.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard work. It's a 2-year job. You've got to do a 2-year job.
Yeah.
So it's good luck to Jimmy and the boys who are doing it now, and so good that they've sort of come into it. It's all about. I guess the way I look at it is Clubbies is pretty much one of the only teams in the VAFA that's doesn't have a school feeder team behind it. We're actually built by mateship. It's about getting the mates down there and getting down. It doesn't matter. Everyone, it seems like the same message coming across. It doesn't matter the standard of how good the bloke is at football. It helps if they're a good player, but it's not what I mean. It's all about creating that real strong bond and that real I guess that mateship and. We've all got more important. I guess what I'm saying is we've all got more important things in life for people down at Clubbies. Good jobs. Yeah, we've got families and got all these other things going on. But when you get to the club, you've got a bunch of guys who are all like-minded, doing the same thing. Who once they get across that white line, you take it seriously. You go hard, play your game. Might have a few beers through the year. A few catch-ups through the year. A couple of beers after the game. Go and watch a game of footy. But then it's generally left there. And I mean. And then you make it to training if you can on a Wednesday. So, I mean, I love that. And then on those sort of Wednesday nights, I mean, it's still very fond memories of doing sort of pre-season training down at Catani Gardens, down at St Kilda, then going to get pizzas afterwards, going for a run on the beach and all the sites would be out on the summertime. It's sort of run a little bit quicker along that foreshore, that's for sure, at certain stages. And then things like, I guess, blue food dye stands out as a massive one as well. I know I'm going to put a massive target on my back here. I've been saying for years, I've been done. I've never been done. I know I'm going to get smashed now, but anyway, never been done. Never been done with that. But, there's corks, the corks when we got down there, and I won't step on anyone's toes there. That's something stores should get on about the corks, but there's some funny stuff going on. And it's just these constant games that go on, and even like those mateship circles that expand out. Like we've got the Shep golf trip with us, which cost a lot of years of Clubbies. We do our fantasy footy league thing together. 40-year-old middle-aged men sort of still doing it, but it's
nine out of 10 of them all played for a Prem.
Is that there you go. Yeah. So that's it. So. I've created lifelong mates from this club, and anyone that comes in, you get in what you get out of it. So you come in, have a bit of fun, take it serious when you're out in the field, when you're on the training track, but when you're on the training track, and then then obviously what comes out of that is just going to be some amazing friendships and some great connections for work and things, all sorts of stuff. The amount of the network of this thing is just. Massive. It's an amazing group of people that have gone through the years. So you're a part of something really special. You really are. I don't say those words lightly. It is. It made my life. The transition back from overseas into here just so much better and so awesome. Yeah. How's that for great English? So awesome.
We'll do a bit of a quick word association for you. I'll throw a few things out there. Faz.
Superstar, absolute legend. Bleed. He's one of those guys that he just does so much for the club. Goes through. Once again, there's no ulterior motives. He just loves the club, loves the boys, loves seeing everyone having a good time, and will take so much time out of his time in his day and his life to make sure that happens.
Yeah. Howie.
Mate, just talk about a guy that hasn't changed. And I just love watching his career going the way it's going and listening to all the podcasts and, just to know he's a mate And then he's as I said, he might have traded up friendship groups. He might have moved out of the Bergs category up to the Warney category, which who'd blame him, right? Who'd blame him? No disrespect for Bergs, but just a rock solid guy, and pretty much he's what he's way he is what the club stands for. Just being a good mate, no ego, and just going about your business and just loving what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. And probably finish on Bergs.
Oh, mate, Bergs is an enigma. I mean, absolute enigma. I mean, I've always wanted a friend that had an entourage. So to sort of see that sort of entourage move through and move in, and I got so much time for that man. He's just one of the another one of the guys. He could have been playing sport, doing anything anywhere, but he fell in love with the club. He's like somebody else. There's so many clubs trying to. He got pulled away, I think, to Melton by Raki one stage, but you keep just come back. Why go? As I was saying, you got to come back. Why would you do it? Not an elastic band. So, no, I mean, I love that bloke. As I said, he could have been doing anything. I still remember some really poignant words from Bergie when I was thinking about quitting pretty much after every year because I was keeping injured. It's like, what else are you going to do on a Saturday? What else are you going to do on a Saturday? And those words just resonate with me. So, I had myself doing it to other people as I was as I'm there, just icing myself because I can't move. What else are you going to do? Well, hopefully not walking around like you are, like a cripple with all the injuries and all the surgery. But anyway, that's what it is, and it's you put your body through hell just to keep that sort of social and that fun. That's so much fun. It's just fun.
Yeah. Fun. So as a current legend, have you got some parting words of wisdom, or I guess something for the current players that?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully these stories, guys, are giving you a bit of a background into what it's all about, and that you'll create similar sort of relationships and journeys, amongst yourselves, and follow along the basic lines that have been sort of created before you. But it's all, as I said, it's about mateship. I will say this: don't be the one that brings the dickhead down, because you'll end up being like Jerry. You'll never live it down, as Justin Geary will tell you. But I think it's only ever happened once or twice in the 30-odd years I'm aware of the history of this place going on that's happened. So bring your good mates down. Doesn't matter if they can play or can't play. Have a crack when you're there. Try to get the training. Trust me, you can. Just try and get the training. It's not that hard. And have fun. And as I said, it's now with all you guys. The club's now entrusting your hands, and it feels like sometimes it's going to collapse. And trust me, every year it feels like it's going to fall over. You just haven't got the right players. I mean, one year when I was coaching, we had to forfeit, and I mean that was like a dagger through the heart. I think it was like round 2, my first year coaching out at Essendon, and so but we ended up getting to a prelim that year. So all I'd say is just stick at it. Yeah, get your mates down. Just keep getting your mates down, because it's your club now. You can do with it what you want, and generally these things work better when you've got a good bunch of mates working together towards a common goal, which. Get us a flag, because I tell you what, if you guys make the grannies, I'll be there. Bloody bells on. So good luck with it all, guys. Feel blessed with the being part of the club, and I'm sure you'll all create fond and exciting memories for you guys to share in the future. And I'd love to hear stories from you guys as well as we go forward into the future.
Well, mate, well done. Thanks for being part of the series. An absolute legend on and off the field. It's always a pleasure to have a beer with you. I can't wait till we can sit down and have a cold one in person. Well done, and thanks for being part of the series.
Thank you so much for having me on it, Ryan. You're a legend. Cheers, guys.
No worries, mate. So there you have it, folks. Brett Lewis, Club 18 legend, leading goal kicker, and the man that was butterflied but survived. Tune in for more episodes soon.